Welcome to the HMG Spotlight video. I'm here with Anil Cheriyan, board advisor and board member. Anil, you've had an amazing career. Congratulations on being an HMG Lifetime Achievement Award recipient from the Global Leadership Institute.
Great, thank you. Happy to be here, and glad to be here talking to you, Hunter.
Well, again, you've had an incredible career. What's on your mind relative to CIOs and technology leaders? What do they need to be thinking about now, and what do they need to be working on most?
Yeah, no, this is, Hunter, this is really the most exciting time to be in technology. I mean, I find it just amazing. You know, this whole generative AI thing that's just taken off, the interactive systems in terms of both video and text and speech and recognition systems, IoT, you know, the movement to the cloud, the data pieces. I mean, there's so much stuff that's going on that is really exciting to be in technology. But however, the world around us has become so volatile. We've had this economic downturn. We've had, you know, the war in Ukraine, the growing nationalism that's going on, high inflation, you name it. I mean, the stock market has just gone crazy as well. So a CIO right now has really got to go figure out what is their role. How do they take advantage of all of this amazing technology in this uncertain world? And I believe CIOs really need to step up their game and really start driving, you know, where do we invest? How do you really measure success? How do we deal with things like privacy and security and so on? I think the complexity of the world that we're in has just grown drastically. And CIOs just need to step up and take the bull by the horns. They can't be recipients of orders anymore. They have to drive the change. CEOs are looking for CIOs to go drive the change. I see that in all the companies that I've worked with, and that's where true CIO leaders are formed. We can get into specifics on any of those topics, but it is really the most exciting time to be in technology right now. I mean,
I love it. You're spot on, like usual. We call it visionary leadership. When you think about vision and leadership, why do CIOs need to step it up?
Yeah, when you think about it, you look at an organization, you've got the CEO, you've got the CFO, you've got the CIO, you've got heads of businesses and HR functions and so on. None of those individuals, except for the CIO, is really capable of understanding the real meaning and real opportunity that this new technologies can really provide, right? So if you say, well, you know, I'm waiting on the line of business leader to come and tell me what to do, that's not going to happen. You're going to wait for the CFO to tell me what to do. That's not going to happen, right? The CIO is the only one who's got that broad perspective across the whole enterprise, really understands where technology is going to make the change. And I think, you know, we've been using this term digital transformation. It is just going to be up in steroids right now. Digital transformation, given what's going on in technology, the confluence of all the things that I mentioned earlier. It's only the CIO who really understands the business, really understands the end-to-end view, and can apply that technology. And that's what CIOs. That's why CIOs need to step up at this stage.
Spot on again. You know, when you think about it, business is all about maintaining your customer base and growing new customers and new markets. Why is that so important now for a CIO to really help stretch the thinking in the C-suite and the line of business to create new markets?
Yeah, it's all about market performance. And, you know, if you think of your company, you know, how are you going to be judged at the end of the day? It's about your return on equity, your shareholder growth, your value to the shareholders that you're providing, and it's all about market performance. Now, how do you drive market performance? You got to start from the client on in. And so when you talk about digital transformation, you got to reimagine every single interaction that you have with your clients, with your associates, with your partners, and with your shareholders, right? That's really, you know, that's what the CIOs really needs to drive. And that's how you drive market performance, right? So when you're driving digital transformation, when you're thinking about, let's use generative AI to do X, Well, what are the use cases? Well, the use cases, if they don't deal with client interaction, if they don't deal with associate experience, if they don't deal with your partner experience, and if they don't deal with shareholders, you're just going to waste your money. You're going to waste the effort, right? That's where the focus has got to be, and that's what's going to drive market performance. If you don't do it, your competition is doing it, and by the way, they're probably going to be way ahead of you if you don't get started right away.
So, Anil, it almost seems like the CIO needs to be thinking and operating like the CEO of technology to reimagine, reinvent that customer journey, reimagine, reinvent new business models, help the business invent new business models, new go-to-market.
Yeah, no, very much so. And I think this is I love the way in which you phrased it. The CIO is the CEO of technology. They really got to drive the reimagining, and they've got to make sure that they're ensuring that the whole business understands the art of the possible here. So starting with the CEO to CIO relationship, that's where it all begins. A good, strong bond there is really what counts. The CEO should not feel that the CIO is a passive person. It's got to be a real connection point there. So the CIO has got to step up and own that, reimagine the client interactions, the associate experience, the partner experience, the overall experience. The CIO is the one who's going to help drive that, and work closely with the CEO and the lines of business to ensure that that happens.
Anil, you've had an amazing career. Give us some secret tips or stylistic leadership skills to build rapport with the C-suite, the CEO, and the board.
Yeah, no, that's I think if I were to give some advice to an up-and-coming CIO or someone who's about to be made CIO, I'd say the number one relationship, you've got to have empathy in your fundamental psyche. You're not a dictator. You're not people don't like working with folks who are just going to say it's my way or the highway. So you've got to have empathy. You've got to be collaborative, but you've also got to have the bigger picture, right? And if you're only focused on your set of problems, there are lots of problems that a CIO has, technology issues, and you name it. There's hundreds of problems here. But the CIO has got to take the broader view, take the view of the CEO, take the view of the board, take the view of the broader organization, take a customer view, and take that broader view to really step up and really have empathy for what it takes to build a business. If you're talking like a business person and if you're driving the business change, that's when you become a member of the team. Otherwise, you're a corporate function that provides enablement and that is waiting for orders and is a very passive organization. So that's what a CIO needs to be, is really have that empathy and relationship building skills.
Anil, you've been at this for a long time. You've been a CIO many times over, and again, working at some great companies. What kind of mindset, in addition to a business mindset, what can a CIO do to get to that level of leadership in terms of resizing their own thinking of the art of the possible or the art of the potential?
I get very engaged with all the aspects of the business. One of the things I used to do when I was in working in a bank is I used to spend Saturday mornings in a bank branch and really understand how things work and what do customers want. And you really need to have that passion and feeling for what the business is all about. I think that's where it all begins. If you don't have that passion and you don't have that belief that you're here to serve your customers, and how do you make that happen? You don't have the benefit. You're never going to have it in you to really drive change, because what you're going to come back to the organization with, what you need to come back to the organization with, is transformative thinking, visionary thinking, thinking about how to really change and how to help the business. Now, I do caution a little bit of that in the sense that you can't only be the visionary guy. You also have to make the basics work. If you don't have the foundation, one of the things I found early on is build your credibility by building the foundation. You know, make sure that your fundamentals are operating. That's when you have the right to come in with the transformative ideas. Guys who come in with pure transformative ideas and no basis, the business really loses interest in them. The business really says, hey, I'm not going to pay attention to this guy. He's just in la la land. He's just up into the clouds and thinking of these wonderful, dreaming of these wonderful things, and he's getting his basics wrong. Right? So the only word of caution is be transformative, but get your day-to-day stuff right.
Anil, excellent insights. Any career advice that you'd like to impart?
No, I think this is, this is an exciting time to be in this space, and I think this is, this is the time to really enjoy what you're doing and really make sure that what you're doing is making a difference, right? How do you measure your performance? Really think about that in terms of the value that you're providing the company that you're in. Don't think about it as individual tasks or CIO level tasks. Think of it as company tasks. So I think this is an exciting time to be in technology. So drive the change as much as you can and enjoy it.
Anil, great job. Congratulations on being the HMG Global Leadership Institute Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. Again, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Hunter, and it was great talking to you.